Hi there everybody. Project today is going to be on this 2000 Volkswagen GTI. Picked this car up on Craigslist the other day. It's supposedly got a blown engine. We're going to check into that here shortly. I did an engine swap on one of these last year that had dropped the timing chain and caused all kinds of engine damage. Swapped the engine out, put a new one in, drove great for 3 weeks until my son crashed it. So fortunately he was fine, walked away without any injuries, but the car didn't survive. But it was great fun, so I finally have recovered from that emotionally and I'm ready to do another one. This wasn't a very easy engine swap the first time, but I'm hoping that now I've got some experience. I've done it once, should be easier this time around. We'll see how that goes. The guy that I bought this from seemed pretty knowledgeable, said he was an ASE certified mechanic, and that it was running great until he'd sold it to somebody who hot rodded it, and he thinks that it dropped the timing chain, common problem on these engines, and caused valve damage and everything else. So that's what I'm planning on being the case, but I figure I might as well check. We got to tear it apart anyway, so first step here is going to be take off the intake and the valve cover, and we'll just take a look at that timing chain and see what it looks like. All right, folks, this is all coming back to me now. So there's nothing easy on this motor. So this is the intake manifold, and to get it off, there's I think 4 bolts right along the front here. I can see a couple of them down in there, but they're not easy to get to because this is all in the way. So they call this is all referred to in the book as the lock carrier. So basically this whole front bumper comes off and gives you a lot more access to the various things in the motor. I was hoping I could at least get this off and check out the timing chain before I pulled the whole front of the car apart, but it looks like it's just gonna have to come off. So we'll start with that. All right, step 1 for getting this lock carrier off is this little hood release gizmo. I remember fiddling with this a lot on the last one. Hopefully I'm a little quicker this time. There's a little clip. Got it. All right, believe it or not, that's the hardest part of the whole thing. Okay, next is this piece. Next thing is a handful of bolts up here under the wheel well. The Phillips head in there too. Crazy. 3 different kind of screws in here. That's not a great sign. Okay, at least those were all the same size. Okay, next thing is these little air guides down here. They have little clips. Now, okay. All right, a couple things hanging on here. We got these side marker lights. Take that out. Meow. And now let me try again on this temperature sensor. There it is. Took me a long time. Oh, there it is. I got it right here. Took me a long time to learn a trick to get these. All these plugs are the same on this car, and they have this little catch that you pull back and then slip off. But what I found is what you got to do is pull the little catch back, push it on, and then it'll come off. If you just pull the catch and start trying to pull, it doesn't come off. Pretty soon you break the little tab. So push, then pull, and then they come off easier, usually. So this is that front bumper piece I just took off. I wanted to show you guys a little upgrade I noticed here. Obviously this has been off before. Looks like this little plastic's separated and we got a little wire holding it together. Same thing on this side. But hey, at least it seems to have been working. All right, we're getting somewhere now. I like as much as possible to sort of put these screws back where they came from. It's not always possible. Like this one, I think might have to come off, but for now, that's what I'm going to do. See, I already forgot. Where'd these come from? These two. These were up under here. Oh. We got all kinds of interesting upgrades here, folks. I'm noticing. We got some improvised washers, and I just saw down here, I don't know what's going on here, but I'm pretty sure this ain't factory. Kitty? And it looks like it's holding that radiator clip. Oh, same thing on this side. Alrighty then. Alright, next we're going to disconnect the little cable that comes over here for the hood release, which runs along under these covers, and then pull the headlight harnesses. Hopefully I can get to this one with the battery here. Uh-oh. Oh boy. Oh boy. We better take that sucker off. Maybe we should take that battery out right now. So I remember from the first time around that it's a real pain in the ass to get this battery out. You'd think it'd be easy, but it ain't. Although, obviously, much of this car has been apart before, probably lots of times, so maybe the last guy didn't put it together all the way, which is kind of what seems to be the case. Yeah, that wasn't yeah. See, normally it's all clipped in and this was just sitting there. I guess that's good. Here's an interesting development. Hold on, let me get you off the tripod here. See this big negative battery terminal? Pretty sure that's not supposed to just be hanging out. What is that? Let me see if I can determine where that should go. Weird. I don't know. That's strange. So I'm going to continue on with what I was doing, and once I get the front bumper off, I think maybe I'll be able to see a little better what's going on down there. So let's just continue. So headlight harness. This one doesn't want to cooperate. There it goes. Other headlight. Oh, yeah, that one doesn't want to come off. All right. There's the hood release. Okay, here's some more upgrades and various shenanigans going on this car. This device was definitely not on the other GTI that I did. This is some aftermarket thing. It says Mecha Tune, and it's some kind of voltage transformer thing. I think it's for headlights. So this car's got some kind of blue LED headlights, and this must be a driver for them, I guess. But the guy said they weren't working anyway, and I can maybe figure out why, because so this is coming up from that little device, and it's, you know, coming into the headlights here. But the other wires that come up are these two. They don't go to anything. So I don't know what they're supposed to go to, but it looks like I have in my future trying to figure out what the hell they did to these headlights. Okay, I'm struggling a little bit with the improvised radiator support bands that are on there. Not so far, not real impressed with the the level of maintenance that's gone into this car. It's a little bit worrisome. Lots of broken stuff, bolts that don't match, things like that. So I don't know, we'll see how it goes, but I'm running out of time right now, so I'm gonna have to come back to this later. All right, folks, this has not been wonderful. I did just manage to get this off, and let me show you a couple things here. So I did find another one of these baloney aftermarket headlight deals over here on this side that just hung me up getting it off because I didn't see it. It was in a different spot. The other one was, as you can see, right here. This one was back up under here somewhere. So the bad part is this. So you can see how Somebody's rigged up this job to hold these. This is the lower radiator clamp. So the top part of the radiator slots in here. And there used to be a slot right here, but it looks like the entire bottom of this bracket is just gone. So they, you know, put that strap, but it had a bolt with a nut. So I was turning the nut, and then of course the bolt started turning, and the other side of it was almost impossible to get to. So that made this way harder than it needed to be. I wonder if at a salvage yard I could get a new radiator, just this plastic piece. I don't know, probably cost about 200 bucks. Maybe not. I'll keep that in mind. So here's the news on this wire. It's not connected to ground. I tested that. I mean, it's a big hefty cable. I mean, it runs back behind here and into the cabin. So maybe this was for like a aftermarket, you know, a stereo amplifier or something that they're not using anymore. Maybe it was connected to positive. Who knows? I kind of got under there and tried to look, but the dash is all, I mean, you have to start taking the dash apart to even see where it goes. So I don't know. I'm just going to coil it up out of the way for the time being. Maybe something will come to light later. In the meantime, more janky crap. We got a nice silicone job on here. You know, connectors broken and zip tied on. Not good. At any rate, this is now exposed enough that we can get to these intake bolts. So maybe we can whip this off real quick and check it out. Okay, there, intake coming off. Finally made it to the valve cover here. Oh, there it is. Looks pretty clean. But I can tell you guys already, timing belt or timing chain, I can see it's got a problem. So it's looking like the original diagnosis was correct. All right, see this? This is no good. That is not supposed to be that way, that's for sure. So it's not completely clear right now that it has skipped timing, but it don't look good. It probably has. So see these two notches back here? These should be aligned because when there's a place, these should be in the same orientation. You can see that this one's off a little bit, but you know, not much. So it might have only skipped one tooth. I mean, All right, so when I first took this valve cover off, I thought maybe this wasn't quite as bad as I thought, but actually I think it's worse. because I tried turning the engine over just by hand with a wrench a little bit, and these don't even turn. So there's two timing chains. There's like a lower one that connects to the crank, and then it comes up around, then it turns, this one via a little spindle. And I can see that the lower one is still on down there, but it must be off the crankshaft because it ain't turning. So that's not good. Also, I was looking, I don't know if you guys can see, if you look down in here, so right in here in this area, that lower part, there's a plastic guide that's the one that had cracked on mine, and I think is typical of cracking, and this one is also broken. It might be telling to pull the oil pan and see what's in that. Problems. Anyway, even if this engine is salvageable, it's got to come out because you can't do this timing chain without taking it out. I don't think. Or maybe you can do the upper one, but you definitely can't do the lower one. So we'll just proceed with that. It's coming out.